Yo, Miguel's Minute Pod. Welcome. In this episode, we're going to talk about football, basketball, all the good shit that's going on right now in the sports world. It's been a huge weekend for football, of course. We know the Super Bowl has finally been determined. I ain't going to toot my own horn, but shit. I did tell y'all that it was going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles on the rematch. And I think it's going to be the same result as last time, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this NBA, man. The trade deadline is approaching next week. A lot of trades. Shit, something just happened just now. Talking about De'Aaron Fox. There's a lot going on. Jimmy Butler's still tripping. Let's talk about it, man. Contenders, pretenders, basketball, football, man. There's just a lot going on. Let's go, man. Miguel's Minute Pod. Let's go. First things first, we're going to shout out Jaden Daniels. What a fucking season. Dude came, showed that he belonged, and put himself in that upper echelon of QBs in his first year in the NFL. So, as I stated before, Justin Herbert, you gotta go. You gotta go, bro. It's over. Your time thinking you top 5 is over. You ain't done shit to prove it. You're out of there. Let the brother come in. And when I say the brother, I mean Jaden Daniels. And I'm not a Commanders fan. I hate the Commanders, but I gotta keep it real. I'm not a hater when I see great talent. And he's very talented. Commander fans, you got you one. You got you one for at least the next 10 to 12 years. Hope he stays healthy. You know, he has to work on a few things. But I will say this. In that game, it wasn't his fault. His team let him down. Everybody else around let him down. He did his part. He came to play. But everybody else on the team let him down, man. But with that being said, Philly flexed their muscle. All year, they've been one of the best teams in the NFL. Jalen Hurts came to play. Saquon did his thing. And that damn defense continues to do what it's been doing all year, and that's be dominant. Start with Jalen Carter on that on that D-line. And then that back end with D. Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, all those guys, man. They're doing their thing. But let's go ahead and just double back to Saquon, man. I mean, as a Giants fan, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's all I can say. We have given our division rivals, a team that we despise. We despise them. And we've given them a cornerstone for their franchise for the next 5 or so years. At least for the next 5 or so years. We can't be no dumber. But, with that being said, Saquon, you have no hate for me, bro. You have no hate for me. Honestly, I honestly think you did what's best for you. And at this point in your career, we are seeing what you could have been in New York, but we didn't put the pieces around you to be successful. So kudos to you, brother. But with that being said, Saquon gonna do his thing regardless. The key to this team being successful is Jalen Hurts. If he played like he did in that game, I hate to say this. It hurts to say, but the Eagles will be Super Bowl champions. If he does what he did in that game, they'll be Super Bowl champions. But that's going to be easier said than done. Going against the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I mean, bro, first of all, what a fucking game. What a game. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Buffalo versus Kansas City. I mean, bro, that was a game. When you talk about championship games, that was the definition of one. That's one you want to see. Not one that was a blowout like the Eagles and the Commanders. Man, listen. I'm going to say this, and you can take this or you can leave it as a sports fan. I don't care, to be honest with you. But this is not an opinion, to be honest with you. This is the truth. Josh Allen proved that he is an upper echelon quarterback in that game. He did that. But one thing that you can't change if you play in the Kansas City Chiefs is number 15 throwing that damn ball and being the leader of that team. He strikes fear in opponents. He makes the other team's coaches think so hard that it puts them in a compromised position where they start doing things that they've never done. And what makes him so dangerous, Patrick Mahomes being him, is the coaches on both sides of the ball around him. Andy Reid is a freaking genius, and Steve Spagnuolo is a genius. 2 examples of how each one of them are geniuses in their own right. First things first, we're going to go to the defensive stop for Buffalo. 4th and 5. Everybody in the world knows that Steve Spagnuolo is drawing up a blitz. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it coming. But he disguised it so well that it confused Josh Allen and Buffalo. Bringing your corner off the edge the way he did in that moment did nothing but put pressure on Josh Allen to make an impossible throw. One that he made that was catchable, which kudos to Josh. That was a hell of a throw. Tight end, you got to catch that, buddy. You have to catch it. But you didn't. And Spagnuolo does his part. Now we're going to talk about Andy Reid and his genius. Now, instead of doing what everybody thinks he's going to do and try to air it out down the field, he does 2 drop-offs to running backs to seal the game to get first down. First one to Pacheco, and the second one to Samaj Piran to ice the game and send Kansas City back to the Super Bowl. That's what makes that team so dangerous, is that they are a 3-headed monster. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo. Those 3 together, I don't know how you're going to beat them. I don't see a world where Philadelphia wins this game. I am a betting man, and I am 100% betting Kansas City to win this game. Now, would I be surprised if Philly brings it home? No, I won't be surprised at all. But even with that being said, I don't see a world where Patrick Mahomes gets to this Super Bowl trying to get this 3-peat and history isn't being made. And I personally want to see it. I like to see different things in my lifetime that has never been done before. And so far, I've seen a couple. We've seen the Red Sox win a World Series in 2004. We've seen LeBron and the Cavs come down from 3-1 in the NBA Finals. This would just be something else for me to see. Something that's never been done. As a sports fan, you gotta love to see the stuff that's never been done. I understand Philly. Look, y'all gotta fight. Y'all have a great chance. And y'all, if anybody in the NFL can do it. But I don't see it happening. My guess, my prediction for this Super Bowl in 2 weeks, and it could change. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna go back and forth. But as of right now, my money is on Kansas City to bring it home. And I think they're gonna win 34-27. I think they're going to get the stops that they need when they need them. And I think that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have something that they've been dialing up all year that's in the box that they are now going to let out in this game. And they do it every year. They did it against Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes had 10 rushes for 45 yards. 2 touchdown runs. Never has he done that in his career. And they weren't just runs that he just did off a whim. They were designed QB runs. Trust me when I tell you, Andy Reid has something in his back pocket that he's going to dial up. And shit, all I know is the Eagles could have something dialed up as well, but we're going to see. It's going to be the battle of 2. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great battle, man, and we're going to see who's going to win it. I was pleased all year with the season all year, and I'm happy that this is the conclusion that we came up to. The 2 best teams are in the Super Bowl, and that's what we want to see every single year. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see the bum squad. We want to just see the best teams, the best players, the best teams. And both teams have respectively, each one of those on their team. As far as Eagles having probably the best running back, the Chiefs having the best quarterback, the Chiefs probably, the best tight end of all time for sure, to me. And the Eagles with two maybe top 5 to 7 receivers. It's gonna be a great game, man. We're gonna see. Don't forget, put your bets in. Do it now. Before the line start changing a little bit. Put your bets in. I'm betting Kansas City. I'm taking them straight money line. That's it, straight money line. But nevertheless, now it's time to talk about some hoops, man. Let's talk about some hoops. Y'all stay tuned. Miguel's Minute. Let's get it. Hey, man, the trade deadline for the NBA is approaching us slowly but surely. February 6th is the trade deadline. And there's a lot of players out there that can help contending teams. But before we get to those players, let's talk about the big fish. Shams just dropped something talking about De'Aaron Fox wanting to get traded. And they have an idea where he wants to go. He's represented by Clutch Sports. My guess is they trying to get him to LA to pair with Bron and AD and be the future. But are the Lakers willing to give up those picks? Those so coveted 2029 and 2031 picks, first rounders. Give them away, throw them away, they don't need them. We're in win now mode. I'm a Lakers guy, because I'm a LeBron guy. Whatever. We in win now mode. Go get whoever we gotta get to make this team better. Whoever it is, make it happen. Make it happen as soon as possible. Because you're wasting AD's prime, which he's in right now, and you're wasting the back end of what LeBron has left as far as high production. So Rob Pelinka, get your ass on the phone, call up the Sacramento Kings, and make the play. Make it happen. I don't care what you got to do. Do it. We need it. We need it. Defensively wise, scoring wise, playmaking wise, we need De'Aaron Fox. Make it happen, brother. Thank you. Please. Now, to the other big fish. Jimmy Butler. I'm so tired of Jimmy. He's done this everywhere he's went. Everywhere he's went. He's just not happy. You can't make him happy. You just can't. When he was happy, he was in Philadelphia, and then when they paid Tobias to them, he got shitty about Philly. You can't make him happy, bro. You would think Miami would be the perfect place. And granted, he went through some personal things while he been in Miami, but that doesn't matter. You don't act unprofessional as you've been acting, my guy. To lead practice, a Miami Heat practice, where you've been the guy that's been acting out, doing the most. So now they're gonna just insert somebody that wants to be there. Sorry, I understand you making however much you make a year, but dude, just do your part. Cause now you damaged goods. You was already damaged goods before. Cause you always hurt, you always crying, you always complaining. Granted, you give it what you got when it's time. You a gamer. But now, Pat Riley's so petty, he could fucking ship you off to Utah or something and he'll be good with that. And there's nothing you gonna do about it. So, we'll see, man. I mean, with Jimmy, I told you guys in previous videos who I believe he should go play for. It's either should be the Spurs, the Suns, or maybe Dallas. But none of those teams are going to want to give up what they have to get him. And as far as the Suns goes, damn near impossible unless you do a trade with Bradley Beal. And he got a no trade clause. So I don't know how that would work. But Jimmy Butler's out of Miami. They have suspended him indefinitely. So he's out of there. He's as good as gone. But he is not the only guy that I expect to be traded in this, trade deadline. I think a lot of the contenders are going to try to get guys that's going to make them a lot better. First thing first is the Lakers. I think they're a piece away from being a contender. And that piece is a big man, to be honest with you. And there's a couple of them out there that they can probably get, but I don't think they want to pay the asking price, but they should. You have Vucevic, Walker Kessler. Shit, you have a bunch of guys out there. Wendell Carter from Orlando. He's out there. He's a good option. Whatever they can do, they just need a body. Shit, to be honest, I'll take Nurk from Phoenix. We'll take him. They just need a body. Somebody huge to just be there. So AD can do what he does. And if they get that, and maybe a backup point, another backup point, the Lakers will probably be in the Western Conference Finals with a chance to go to NBA Finals, to be honest with you. I can see that. Truthfully, it'll probably happen if they get that big man. And please, if they get De'Aaron Fox and the big man, I'm going to be honest, I might as well just go ahead and hand LeBron his 5th ring. Because it's over with. He getting that 5th ring if he get a big man and De'Aaron Fox. But Rob Pelinka's going to have to get in there and cook. You're going to have to cook something, Rob. You're going to have to go in there and start chefing up some shit. I don't care if it's picks, players, whatever you got to do. Max Christie's stock has went up tremendously. Tremendously. And Doug Christie will probably wouldn't mind coaching his son. I'm going to throw that out there. If that happens, remember where y'all heard that shit from first. But they need a big man and a point guard. Now, the other team that I think is 1 or 2 pieces away, and I hate to say it, is the Denver Nuggets. I think it's time they come up off Jamal Murray, to be honest with you. And I think they can get a good haul for him. But they're missing some pieces that go along with Jokic that'll help that team out a lot. Like they need spot shooters, and they need defenders. And if they can put Jamal Murray in a package to get those things, Denver could be back where they were the last few years, and that's on top of the Western Conference. Now, the other team that I believe will take them over the top in the West is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are really 1 piece away. And that 1 piece is a simple piece. A bench big man. They need a big man off that bench that can produce or do something while Hartenstein or Chet is off the floor. They do that, and they're my pick to win the NBA Finals, to be honest with you. And I'm saying that even with the Lakers getting who they get. If they get them. But the Thunder are deep already. You add that piece, that's going to be a problem for everybody. For everybody. Now, let's go ahead to the East now, man. We talking about the East. I mean, the Celtics are pretty much built. They're built. They don't need anything else. They're loaded. The Bucks, the move I think they need to make is going to be one that's tough for them to make. But if Phoenix is willing to do it with them, I would trade Bradley Beal to Milwaukee for Chris Middleton and maybe a couple of those young guys. Chris Middleton with Dame and Giannis would be, Bradley Beal with with Dame and Giannis, that'd be beautiful. Bradley Beal, Dame, and Giannis would be a perfect trio. Because Giannis is going to do what he does regardless. He's going to give you 30 and 15. 30 and 12 every night. Guaranteed from Giannis. Dame has been playing at a way better level than he's been playing the last few years. As far as when he wasn't happy or even last year when he was coming to a new system. And even at the beginning of the year, they have stepped it up tremendously. Bradley Beal will be perfect for that system as the third guy in the Chris Middleton role. Chris Middleton, on the decline of his career, doesn't need that high of a role no more, to be honest with you. Could be a perfect fit for Phoenix, to be honest with you. Off the bench or even as a starter, he doesn't need the ball to score. He's a catch-and-shoot guy. He can do whatever. KD and Booker can do what they do. I think that would be perfect for Milwaukee. I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be perfect for them. Now, y'all might think I'm crazy for this. Cleveland needs a... Y'all don't think I'm crazy for this. Cleveland needs a wing. They need to trade for a solid wing. To get Jimmy Butler, they'll have to give away too much. So, I don't know. Well, the asking prices came down some, so I don't know. But they need a legit three. A legit three. If they can get a legit three, even if it's... Shit, I'm gonna be honest. You can give them like a Kyle Kuzma, and they'll be solid. That'll take them a little bit over the edge to me, to be honest with you. But they have to get a three in this free agency, or they're going to be just like every year with the Cavaliers. They do well in the regular season, then in the postseason, they drop. Right? Now, the last team is a team that I think can beat the Celtics in the East. The Knicks. You guys, the Knicks are so top heavy, it's crazy. And Tibbs, the way he coaches, the way he runs his players to the ground, makes them dead for the playoffs. So, in conclusion, they need two guys. Maybe they just come in and contribute off the bench. They just need to find those however they can. They need to find like a Karis LeVert or a Cam Thomas. You go get Cam Thomas. Send him across the bridge. And see what happens with the Knicks. That's going to take them to another level. That's all they need. Now, we all know who the contenders and pretenders are. Those teams that I just named that need to add those pieces, that's going to take them over the edge, man. And we're already at the halfway point of the NBA season. So, we're seeing pretty much where teams are going to be, towards, or what they are as currently constructed. Now, you add some certain pieces, it can take them to another level. Prime example, I hate going back to them, but the Lakers, you added Vanderbilt back into the lineup. They're a whole different defensive team with him in the lineup. Certain teams can just add certain players. The Thunder added Caruso recently, and he sent them over the top again, as far as defensively. It's like you have two Lou Dorts out there. So, when it comes down to improving and being better, these teams that see themselves as contenders or see themselves that have a chance to contend have to make these adjustments and get some trades done so that they can be effective. Otherwise, they're going to be right where they are now, and there's not going to be any progress. But even with that being said, man, there's teams that have surprised me also. A lot of teams have surprised me. The first team being the Los Angeles Clippers. Kudos to James Harden. Proving everybody wrong, doing what everybody said he couldn't do anymore. Leading the team, doing his part. Kawhi just came back, and the Clippers are playing really well. They are a team that I would not want to see in that first round. I would not want to see the Clippers in the first round. They are deep, they're well coached, and they guard. They play defense. I wouldn't want to play that team in the first round if I'm any other team, other top three teams. Especially if I'm like a Houston, or Houston, or who's the 3 seed? I don't remember who the 3 seed is, but if I'm Houston, I don't want to play them at all. 3 seed is the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies definitely don't want to see the Clippers. Too physical, too defensive minded. Be a good series, but I would try to stay away from a team like the Clippers. And then, of course, You got this other surprise team on the back end of that, I say would be the Timberwolves. You talk about a step back. We knew that was going to happen, though. Real basketball heads knew that the Knicks won that trade between the Timberwolves and the Knicks. Real basketball heads know that. Cat fits perfect in New York. Julius Randle does not fit perfect beside Anthony Edwards. Now, granted, they played well a little bit better lately, but overall, for the long haul, that's not going to be something that's going to work for them in the end. I think in the playoffs, they're going to probably be a play-in team, them and the Warriors for sure, and we're going to see how that plays out from there. But when you got a dynamic player like Anthony Edwards, anything can happen, and he can literally lead you and win you a series with the way he plays. So we'll see as far as that goes. Now in the East, we're talking about surprise teams. Man, shout out to Detroit. And shout out to, man, listen, Mr. Bickerstaff, JB Bickerstaff. Man, listen, last year with Cleveland, you did a great job. They got you up out of there, though. You go to Detroit, and you bringing them back to prominence. You are making this team relevant again. You got Cade Cunningham playing great. You have Isaiah Stewart playing great. You got Jalen Duren average a double-double. You're doing your thing there, coach. You're a lot of pieces away, to be honest, but you're a couple pieces away, maybe a couple years away from being a real contender. But you have the pieces to be special. Asar Thompson, he's not a man, but he's gonna make some strides. He's gonna be an all-defensive guy. You just gotta keep him out there and let him keep getting better. Detroit showed me a lot. And of course, Cleveland, of course, nobody expected them to be this good, but naturally they are. And then, of course, you got to think, like, the Heat. Why are they not doing better, right? There's one answer to that question besides Jimmy Butler. Has anybody heard Bam Adebayo all year? Have we heard anything from this guy? And we talking about a perennial all-star the last few years. A defensive player of the year candidate the last few years. A 20-10 guy the last few years. He's been relatively quiet this year. And it's really been the Tyler Hero show in Miami. He's been carrying them. He's the guy that we looking at on the Heat like, oh, he could be an all-star. And it should be Bam. Because Bam has the talent to be a top 3 to 4 big in the NBA, to be honest with you. And I think he's fallen out of that this year. If we're talking about big men. Of course, you're going to talk about Jokic. You're going to talk about Cat. You're going to talk about Wemby. You're going to talk about Sabonis. Where does he fall? Does he fall in that 5 spot? He hasn't been playing like it. Then you have Anthony Davis at that 5 spot maybe, or even higher than that. However you have it, Bam was top 5, and he's fallen off tremendously. And if the Heat want to be successful, he has to be way better than he's been. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that with the Jimmy Butler stuff happening, like that with the uncertainty, he knows he has to be better. So I look forward to the Heat in the second half of the season being coached by Spo to make a push. And I think that's going to happen. And I think Bam's going to be better, but I'm just saying, like, they're disappointing, and he's been disappointing this year so far. But nevertheless, man, with that being said, we are almost at the All-Star break, which is good for, the team to get their rest and take some time off. And then it's go time. It's go time after that. You have the team that going to be up there. You have the team that is going to be fighting to get into the playoffs and avoid the play-in or whatnot. It's going to be interesting to see. Everybody stays healthy. We're going to see what the dice roll out at the end of the season. At the end of the regular season, man. So, Miguel's Minute, man. We talk about everything on this thing. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the All-Star snubs. Starter snubs. Everybody thinks LaMelo got snubbed. I'm going to tell you why he didn't get snubbed. They fucking lose. They're not a good team. If you're not a good team, the fans might vote you in. Some of the players might. But overall, if your team isn't having any success, are you really an all-star? Yes, LaMelo will put people in the seats, bro. Like, he's going to do that. With his personality, the way he plays, he's going to put people in the seats. And he's going to be an all-star. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be an all-star. But if you're not winning, you're not going to be a starter, bro. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That rarely happens. So, I think he's the only snub in the starting lineup, to be honest with you. Maybe in the West, maybe AD should have got in instead of KD, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Either way, they're going to be all-stars. But regardless, man, Miguel's Minute Pod. Little quick pod, man, about some little things that just happened in the NBA and the NFL, man. Something slight. Stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping some picks. I'll be dropping a bunch of little things, man, as the weeks come in, going towards the Super Bowl, All-Star Game, all these events. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all keep on the lookout for my daily recap. Follow me on TikTok, YouTube, X, all that. All right? Miguel's Minute Pod. Y'all stay locked. Peace.